Nothing screams cinematic justice like an actor slipping into a skin of a character, but I can vouch for the fact that this is way easier said than done. From changing their lifestyle and physique to adopting unique methods, actors can go to astonishing lengths to prepare for a role. And while these dramatic transformations are best left to actors only, we can definitely take stock of their hard work and preparation. Let's do that now as we take a quick look at 25 celebrities who transformed their appearance for a role. If there's anyone in the entertainment industry who is unforgettably associated with bicep curls, it is J.K. Simmons. The actor went through an incredible training regimen to get ripped for the 2017 movie Justice League, in which he played Commissioner Jim Gordon. Despite all the excitement surrounding his beefed-up appearance, Simmons was in the movie for a painfully short time. The long-awaited Snyder Cut will hopefully change that and give DC fans a chance to enjoy Commissioner Gordon the way it was originally intended, in complete action.
Not quite my tempo. It's all good, no worries. Here we go.
When Rami Malek signed on to portray the legendary Freddie Mercury, he had insanely huge shoes to fill. And to that end, the actor went above and beyond to physically capture Freddie Mercury's distinctive style and body language. This included dialect coaching, movement training, singing and dancing lessons, extensive research, and of course, wearing a false set of teeth. A fun bit of trivia about Bohemian Rhapsody is that the filming began with the shooting of the iconic Live Aid concert, which is considered among the greatest rock performances in history. So just imagine how incredibly talented and well-prepared Rami had to be to jump into that role with such a high-stakes act. Whew. Michael Fassbender's acting career took off long before he became famous in mainstream movie franchises like X-Men. That said, his portrayal of activist Bobby Sands in the critically acclaimed film Hunger remains one of his most significant performances. Fassbender went through a dramatic transformation for the role by losing close to 42 pounds through a combination of exercise and a devastatingly low calorie intake. The actor called the regimen a psychological prison, which is a sad but true reflection of his character's hunger strike in the film. If you tell me that you casually call up Channing Tatum for exercise advice, you're either lying or you're Jonah Hill. The Superbad actor had a diverse portfolio of on-screen looks and maintains a consistent knack for quick wit and humor. For the movie War Dogs, Hill gained a drastic amount of weight and then lost it all for Maniac, a miniseries on Netflix. It would be interesting to see what he chooses to do next, but knowing Jonah Hill, it will most likely be ridiculously entertaining. Matthew McConaughey's noteworthy performance in Dallas Buyers Club won him the Golden Globe and Academy Awards, and it was a role for which the actor dropped a whopping 47 pounds. The actor came back to a healthier weight after gaining most of it back for the movie Gold. McConaughey said that he completed his transformation for Dallas Buyers Club in the healthiest way possible, taking a good 4 months to lose weight for the role. Dallas Buyers Club was a hallmark project for not just Matthew McConaughey, but also his co-star, Jared Leto, who took home several awards for the Best Supporting Actor for the film. What we're more interested in for today's video, though, is his epic transformation in Chapter 27. Seriously, just have a look.
I'm here to meet John Lennon.
Jared played John Lennon's murderer Mark David Chapman in the film and gained 67 pounds to bulk up for the role. The extra weight took such a toll that it gave him gout and made it difficult for him to even walk on set. Leto admitted that gaining the weight was not the wisest choice to make and advocated against it, saying that it's not okay to make such drastic weight gains, even if they can be reversed as they still impact the body. The last time Gary Oldman even remotely resembled himself on screen was in Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. I'm only joking, of course, but what's totally not a joke is Oldman's sheer capacity for transformation. The actor spent over 200 total hours in the makeup chair and smoked around 12 cigars a day to play Winston Churchill in Darkest Hour. While Oldman's look heavily relied on delicate makeup and prosthetics, what's remarkable is that he would go to great lengths to hold them in place by staying away from food and sleep on the sets as much as possible. If I made a penny for every Christian Bale transformation, I would still have less, and oh god, I did not do the math right on this at all, but the fact that I chose to use that quote reveals quite a bit. Bale has treated us to a variety of looks and characters, and loves oscillating between having a ripped physique to almost completely lacking one. His most shocking transformations have been for his performances in The Fighter and The Machinist, both of which saw him shed almost 60 pounds.
What?
Without getting into the horrific details of what it took to get there, I want to assure you all that Bale is a much more boring person now, which essentially means that he looks straight in the eye of mortality and prefers to stay undead. Cate Blanchett is a thespian goddess straight out of drama school, but even she would not have imagined that she'd be playing Bob Dylan someday. That's right, Cate played a version of the Nobel Prize-winning singer in an experimental film directed by Todd Haynes. It was a musical drama in which 6 different actors portrayed 6 different versions of Bob Dylan's persona, and has one of Blanchett's most captivating on-screen transformations. Haynes brought her on board because of her striking features, and a very specific outfit he saw her in, and the rest of it is just Cate being Cate. While the film's interesting visuals and editing style are quite well received, it is also a nod to Blanchett's diverse acting capabilities. Jake Gyllenhaal has been an actor since he was a child, but the internet collectively flexed in appreciation of his hunky look for Southpaw. Jake trained twice a day for 5 months to be convincing as a boxing champion in the film. He had to learn boxing techniques from scratch, which meant weeks of intensive training to get his jab and footwork right. What's interesting is that the role was originally intended for Eminem, as it sort of takes after his life story, but Gyllenhaal left no stone unturned in bringing a visible authenticity to it after taking over. Another project which squeezed a drastic transformation out of the actor was the film Nightcrawler.
Excuse me, sir? I'm looking for a job.
For which he was also a producer. Jake dropped 30 pounds for his role as a crime reporter in the movie, which resulted in his eyes looking way more prominent than we were used to seeing them. Anne Hathaway's transformation into Meryl Streep's increasingly fashionable assistant in The Devil Wears Prada resides in a league of its own, but her shrunken figure in Les Miserables looks like it came right out of Emily's playbook, if you know what I mean. Hathaway lost 25 pounds to play the part of Fantine and largely treated the transformation as essential to the role. But in a more recent interview with People TV, the actress opened up about the downfalls of the debilitating experience. According to Anne, the rapid weight loss made her really sick and did not bode well for her health in the longer run. Joaquin Phoenix took a well-deserved Oscar home for his take on the Joker, but Heath Ledger's legendary performance is still as fresh in our minds as the day we first saw it, and the reason for that is almost synonymous with Heath's immense talent as an actor. Heath famously reined his method acting skills to dive into the psyche of Batman's neurotic villain, whom he portrayed with terrifying accuracy.
Why so serious?
This included locking himself up in a hotel room for a good month or so, maintaining a diary, and experimenting with different voices. The actor had admitted that the process was exhausting, but those close to him have refuted the rumors that it caused his tragic death just months before his film's release. Heath Ledger's remarkable talent lives on through his films and a documentary called Too Young to Die, which delves into his Joker diary to explore his method acting. Had Chris Pratt not starred in Guardians of the Galaxy, the wholesome image of Andy Dwyer attempting to exercise would still have been etched on my mind. Pratt adopted an intensive workout regimen to get himself space ready for the GOTG Cosmos and dropped 60 pounds. Pratt's Instagram account would have you believe that he achieved the chiseled look by simply staying away from beer for 6 months, but he worked super hard in the gym for 3 to 4 hours a day. In addition to that, Chris cranked up his calorie intake and drank huge amounts of water to recalibrate his whole diet. Having seen his work across different genres on multiple platforms, I'd be up for watching Chris Pratt even if he played, I don't know, an intergalactic speed bump, or a karate chopper, an FBI agent, a possum tackler, a pit dweller. Anything goes really, as long as Chris is playing it. Yeah, Grandma. Natalie Portman will always be remembered for her extraordinary performance in Black Swan, which won her an Oscar. Portman won as Best Actress, but what the title really should have read was Successfully Survived on Carrots and Almonds. I am not even exaggerating. Natalie endured such a torturous schedule for her role as a ballerina that on some nights, she literally feared that she would die. Besides losing 20 pounds, the actress also dislocated a rib during her dance rehearsals for Black Swan. Despite Portman's painstaking efforts to portray a ballet dancer convincingly, some ballerinas thought that the themes and struggles shown in the film were shocking and exaggerated. It was equally well received in spite of that, and Portman came out on top with a well-deserved win for her efforts and her conviction in the role. Castaway stands as definitive proof that Tom Hanks is really all a film needs to be successful. Tom is amazing, Tom is charming, and Tom lost more than 50 pounds to play a washed-up FedEx agent in Castaway. When Entertainment Weekly tried to ask him how he lost all that weight in an interview that I now realize is 20 years old, Hanks joked around and basically gave them a non-answer. But what I do know is that when the actor was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, people speculated that his fluctuating weight for his various roles might have had something to do with it. What Tom does with his body is his own business, but his legacy for transformations is not completely unfounded. In fact, when Matthew McConaughey had to drop pounds for his role as an HIV patient in Dallas Buyers Club, he called Tom for advice. Chris Hemsworth maintains a strapping physique to play Thor, so the actor frequently has to lose weight and tone down to play characters who are not Asgardian demigods. In the Heart of the Sea was one such film, for which the actor underwent quite the physical transformation. Those used to seeing his burly Thor look were quick to note the change, for which Chris distanced himself from all sorts of junk food. In fact, the 500-calorie diet that he was put on was so measly that he constantly pined for food. That makes two of us, Chris. Demi Moore is already synonymous with perfection, but for some reason had to further amp up her acting game for G.I. Jane. In Uncanny Moore style, the actress trained with 40 Navy SEALs to toughen up for the role of Jordan O'Neill, a woman who must survive a severe training program to make it into a combined reconnaissance team. Moore insisted that she should get real hands-on training, even though she didn't really have to. Her experience naturally entailed getting yelled at by a drill sergeant like a commoner, vomiting her vitamins up, and getting her feet covered in blisters. The back-breaking regimen worked wonders, and Moore delivered a remarkable performance. Karen Gillan makes an interesting addition to this list, but she arguably brings one of the most unrecognizable makeup transformations to it. For Guardians of the Galaxy, the actress had to shave her head and sit in a makeup chair for almost 5 hours to get the look for Nebula ready. The 5-piece prosthetic used for her makeup was also really elaborate and had to be put together like a puzzle to control the amount of their movement. Perhaps the most exciting part of Gillan's transformation off the screen was when the actress first revealed her shaved head at the San Diego Comic-Con.
And I might have done something a little bit crazy.
Which was a dramatic departure from her usually long hair. When Daniel Day-Lewis signed on to play Abraham Lincoln, the cinematic universe seemed perfectly aligned. Day-Lewis shares quite the resemblance to Lincoln, but his distinctive love for method acting plays out in his Lincoln transformation. Lewis did a lot of reading and pored over Lincoln's own writing to prepare for the role, for which he spent some time looking at the American president's photographs. He even modulated his pitch to reproduce Lincoln's voice in the way it's been described in the archives. What's incredible is that Day-Lewis rarely broke character, being very careful not to lose his voice or accent through the day, even between takes. Tom Hardy always comes through when it comes to doing justice to the roles he plays, and manages to impress audiences even when he stars in films that do not become a commercial success. When it came to slipping into Charles Bronson's persona, Tom was faced with the task of preparing to portray a criminal bare-knuckle boxer who is capable of taking 20 prison guards down. Hardy had to quickly beef himself up for the project, and would end up scarfing down junk food for the task. With his staple unhealthy diet, the versatile actor would end up gaining almost 7 pounds a week. Hardy also trained hard to spruce up his muscles by doing a variety of workouts. At the end of the transformation, Tom perhaps ended up looking more like Bronson than Charles Bronson himself. Ig Parrish wakes up one morning to find out that he has mysteriously grown a pair of horns on his head. There's no particular explanation for why this happened, and people who encounter him don't really seem to care about his changed appearance. They do, however, start telling him the truth like they were being forced. This sounds like a scene that could easily fit into a Harry Potter spin-off, but it isn't. It does have Daniel Radcliffe energetically essaying the role of Ig Parrish, though. And for what it's worth, Radcliffe manages to make a memorable departure from his persistent image as the boy who lived. When Richard Attenborough was looking for actors to portray Mahatma Gandhi, the father of India, prominent non-Indian actors like Richard Burton and Anthony Hopkins were considered. The reason was quite simple. Attenborough was advised that the actor's nationality was unimportant. Ben Kingsley finally took on the mantle and delivered a charming performance.
My name is Gandhi, Mohandas K. Gandhi.
Despite the film receiving mixed reviews, Ben Kingsley's transformation into Gandhi for the role was pretty uncanny and helped the film showcase India's struggle for independence to a global audience. You could spot Angelina Jolie's striking features from a distance, unless she decided to cover them with latex and makeup. That's exactly what happened on the set of Salt, the spy thriller in which Jolie completely transformed her appearance to look like a man. The effect worked just long enough to freak her son when he came out to visit her on the movie's set. When Vincent D'Onofrio gained 70 pounds to play a Marine in Stanley Kubrick's Full Metal Jacket, he probably had no idea of what was to come. The drastic weight gain made it difficult for the actor to shoot the film's action-packed sequences, and he had also badly injured his knee while completing one of its obstacle courses. He eventually lost all of the weight, but the heavy gains made D'Onofrio think twice about how the world perceives and judges outward appearances. Gwyneth Paltrow's life was never the same after she appeared in Shakespeare in Love. Gwyneth, as Viola in the movie, disguises herself as a man to make an impression on Shakespeare. Her genuine performance in the movie won her many accolades, including the Oscar, which she famously accepted without holding back her tears. And that brings our list of incredible on-screen transformations to an end. This goes without saying, but please remember that the drastic physical transformations that we looked at today should by no means be tried at home, or anywhere really. Thank you for watching the video. Stay tuned and make sure to subscribe to ScreenRant to catch more of our videos. See ya!